Thank you, Mr. Timer, for your introduction of the time as well. I'd now like to bring up our evaluator, Mr. Peter Shi, to introduce speaker number one, Eric Zhao.
So Mr. Eric Zhou is going to make his first presentation of his Toastmaster career, and it will be the icebreaker, as we all know. And so the objectives of that would be to begin speaking before an audience and to discover speaking skills that you already have and skills that you need some attention. The time will be 4 to 6 minutes. So give it up for Eric, and we'll get to know him a little bit more.
Howdy, neighbors. My name is Eric Zhao. I'm 11 and in 6th grade. I go to White Station Middle School, which is conveniently close to my house. I can walk there. It's pretty cool. Yeah. And as you know, I live in Memphis. Right, and then I was also born at a very young age. Like right out of my mom's womb, I was born at a very young age. It's just so shocking. And not only that, but I live in the USA, which is also mind-blowing because the USA is such a good country. But my favorite food is boneless fondue because it's just scrumdiddlyumptious, upper bird. And I do wushu, which is like a Chinese martial art, and I've been doing it for around like 6 years. Yesterday we were at like the lunar or the mid lunar festival or something, and we performed there. And then we've also performed like for the Grizzlies halftime show, like twice, and it was just pretty fun. I also do the violin, which I do not enjoy because my parents are forcing me. I like math, because it's like the universal language. And I'm in a pre-algebra class and made the math counts team. Yippee! Can I get a yippee? Yippee! And so, I'm somewhat good at math. I swim a lot. I excel at swimming more than violin, but I'm in like the second best rank for the swim team, like the Germantown Gators. And like some of my hobbies are like running. I also enjoy like working out. Like last year I got a bench pressing like set thingy, and I started working out like my muscles. But I'm kind of bad at it because like I can only bench press 54 pounds, even though I'm supposed to like bench press like 80 pounds. Because apparently you're supposed to bench press 0.8, that like times the amount of like your actual weight. And being the 100-pounder that I am, I'm kind of lacking. But it's okay though, because I've been bulking. At least that's what my sister said I could do. I enjoy working out because like it calms my mind and it makes me feel like a giga chad. And then I also feel like self-benefited because of the fact that I'm getting buff. And the only people that think that is cool are my friends. Oh, Shoko, there's a word of the day. So I conjured myself to use the word of the day. Yeah, that's me. And also, did I mention that my favorite food is boneless fondue? It's just scrumdiddlyumptious. I'm a Christian. God is good. God did. I enjoy music, but I don't like doing instruments. I like listening to Christian rap because it's a banger. And one of my favorite songs is Jesus Love Me hip hop remix. It's like it gives you that like rap and like pop like feeling, but you know that Jesus loves you. I enjoy breathing some fresh air because supposedly my doctor said that I needed it. That's me. Toodaloo.
Thank you for the interesting speech about you, Mr. Eric. And next up, I'd like to bring up our evaluator number 2, Miss Emily, for evaluation on Jonathan Chen.
As Mr. Xavier Taylor said, I will be evaluating Mr. Jonathan Chen, and he will be doing it in project number 4, which is how to say it. And the objectives for his speech will be to select the right words and sentence structure to communicate your ideas clearly, accurately, and vividly, use rhetorical devices to enhance and emphasize ideas, and eliminate jargon and unnecessary words. And to use the correct grammar. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Quick question. Raise your hand if you know what Avatar: The Last Airbender is.
You.
All right, good. Here's my hot take. The Legend of Korra is, in fact, better than Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah, I know. It's an unpopular opinion. I recently binged the series on Netflix about a year ago, and I absolutely loved it. Though the animation is directed towards children, as a 15-year-old, I was pleasantly surprised with deeper content, as many layers of sophistication lie in Korra's character development, and that's something that doesn't appear as much in Aang's story. With no more episodes to watch, I want to analyze Korra's growth throughout the series and tell you why The Legend of Korra is more interesting than its prequel. The conflict between good and evil is a theme that's reoccurring and is long ingrained into literature. This sometimes one-dimensional storytelling trope appears in books like Lord of the Rings, where a hero has to fight a irredeemably evil antagonist. This is also the case for Avatar: The Last Airbender, in which our Aang, our beloved Aang, has to stop the villainous Fire Lord Ozai from world domination. These plots are interesting and very exciting, but sometimes lack the depth or maturity seen in a more meaningful story, and The Legend of Korra is a great example. An interesting story first needs an interesting protagonist. At the beginning of her story, she is hot-headed, brash, and nowhere near a perfect avatar, which is a direct contrast to the amiable and gentle and more compassionate likes of Aang. She was short-tempered and when studying airbending and was ungrateful towards her mentor Tenzin. Korra was proud to be the world's savior, I guess, but she was naive in understanding what that role required of her and the ideologies found in her opponents. This developing protagonist is nowhere near a perfect hero, but only makes her eventual growth more resonant. As an avatar, Korra fights antagonists to maintain balance in the world and to maintain peace. And each of those antagonists are driven by a particular ideologies. These ideologies carry good intentions, but are individually taken to the extreme. Our first antagonist, Amon, for example, he wanted equality between non-benders and benders, but used violence to achieve that goal. The story, interestingly, uses these ideologies and synthesizes them into that world of the show. When the show ends, benders and non-benders are equal. The spirit world is reconnected to the physical world. Monarchs are abolished, and there is peace and order. All the 4 villains in the show can claim a victory in that regard. In season 4, Toph encourages Korra to learn from her enemies, stating, "You ever consider maybe you can learn something from them?" The problem was those guys were totally out of balance and they took their ideologies too far. By analyzing the flaws and the merits of her antagonists, she understands that no one ideology has all the answers, making the show a true contest of ideas. We can see the strategy in a less political way when Korra spends 3 years fighting stressful flashbacks of trauma. Only when she confronts and accepts her situation instead of blaming Zahir, she is able to overcome that mental block. Korra demonstrates its growth in her final fight with Kuvira after saving her enemy from a destructive blast and entering the spirit world. Kuvira says, "Why would you save my life after everything I did to you?" And Korra said, "I guess I see a lot of myself in you. We are nothing alike. The Avatar is adored by millions. I was cast aside by my own parents like I meant nothing to them. How can I just stand by and watch the same thing happen to my country?" And Korra says she wants, I wanted a place, you wanted a place to create peace and for that your people to not be vulnerable again. I may not have been an orphan, but I understand what it feels like to be in a bad situation, to have suffered. And after Korra was poisoned, she would have done anything to feel in control again. So because Korra experienced this period of vulnerability and suffering, was she able to connect with Kuvira about their similar experiences and talk her out of fighting? In this way, the fully realized protagonists learned how to choose diplomacy and compassion over her usual way of fighting the way out of her situations. After the battle, Korra talks with Tenzin, saying, "I know I was in a pretty dark situation after I was poisoned, but I finally understand why I had to go through all of that. It was to be more compassionate to the others, even to people like Kuvira." Because the show takes on this conclusion, the audience is able to grasp the protagonist's development leading up to this moment. The show excellently navigates complex ideas while making her characters more interesting. Though Aang brings back childhood memories and nostalgic memories for some people, I, like many others, was able to understand the significance and complexity that the protagonists and antagonists bring to Legend of Korra, and that's what makes an interesting story. Thanks. Back to you.
Interesting take there, Mr. Jonathan. It was a great speech overall, and I'd like to get ready for our next session. And before we can move on to the table topics, don't forget to at least speak until the green background pops up. I'd now like to bring up Mr. Jason Pendergrass as our table topics master.
Thank you, Toastmasters. As the table topic master, this is impromptu speaking, which I will call upon members to deliver a 1 to 2 minute talk on a topic announced right before the member is chosen. Describe a time you overcame adversity. Then it goes to duty.
Fellow Toastmasters, Type of Topics Master, adversity is something that we need to watch for. It's not the adversity that challenges us, but it's how we look at that adversity. It's not what we experience, but how we react to it. I've experienced many adversities in my life. People who came against me, plans that I created that fell apart. But when I look at the destruction, that can be devastating. It's been said that you don't look at the problem, you find a solution. When I stop looking at the problems and begin finding solutions to the problem, only then can I get better. Only then can I dig my way out of that hole to get back to life. in a normal plane. Fellow Toastmasters, I challenge you to find your way out of your adversity. What is your adversity? It doesn't have to consume you. Find a solution. For in searching for the solution, that's when you have freedom. Topics Master.
What is your dream job and why? You cannot name a celebrity role or an athletic job. It's gotta be a real job. What is your name? Mia.
So far in my high school life, I still have no clue who I want. I don't know who I want to be. So I will be trying to figure that out in my later life, maybe. So far, my mom told me that I should become an accountant because I'm good at math, even though I don't understand what's going on in class at the current moment. I'm just copying down what the book says, but if it works, it'll work out in the end. And I may go into statistics later in high school, but I really don't know anything what's going on. So I need to figure it out before I do something I don't like. Another option, I guess, is like a fast food. Not because it's a dream job, it's because I need money at some point, so that's it.
What makes your school awesome? Deanna. Describe a time you conjured up the courage to overcome peer pressure. MG.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Describe a time you conjured up the courage to overcome peer pressure.
So a time I have overcome peer pressure, I guess that would be, I guess mostly peer pressure happens during school time and during classes where all your friends are and you just want to try to fit in and have fun with them. But sometimes people do something dumb, but and they do some things that you might not agree with or are not necessarily the best choices in life, and you just have to not follow them and do it, but it's kind of always hard to do that because they're, of course, they're friends and everybody's saying, "Oh no, you should come with us. You should come do this thing with me." And then you always feel like not so great trying to reject them and saying, "Oh no, I don't think what you're doing is right." And it's like you don't even want to say that to them because they're your friend, but sometimes you just need to kind of really go out of your way and tell them too, because sometimes what they do can also be harmful for them. So I guess a time that I overcame peer pressure would be mostly I could forget a specific example would just be like during school. We have practice. I'm in band in school, so we have practice after school, and sometimes they want to decide to like go explore the school after practice, and that's not necessarily a great thing because we can also get in trouble for just walking around after school because technically we're not supposed to be there after practice ends. But I just have to sometimes just tell them, nah, I'm just gonna go home, and they can go, but I still recommend to them that they should probably not do it since they could also get in trouble and hurt the band's reputation. But that would probably be an example for me of overcoming peer pressure.
What aspects of your job are most enjoyable? Toastmaster job. And a job.
Part that make my job very enjoyable is the people I work with. I'm very fortunate to have a good manager who listens to what I have to say, and I have my coworkers who are very supportive. When I say supportive, they really go out and help me. When I have questions, they would not hide their secrets. And they would also, hey, I can help. So it's a team atmosphere that we truly support each other, not trying to joke, hey, I'm the best, I can do this, and I just hold everything to myself. Okay, so that's one thing I really appreciate my team in my work. Every morning I wake up, I just look forward to going to work because I have this amazing people that I want to meet and discuss about my work. Another thing about my work is I get to work hybrid. I spend 3 days at work meeting my beautiful people, amazing people, and I get to work at home for 2 days, which I can use some of the lunchtime to get my personal stuff done. So that is always good. So overall, yes, I have an amazing team, and I hope that one day you will have an amazing team in your work as well, or you can be the one who build up that amazing working atmosphere. So we can all be part of that good environment. Thank you very much.
If you could hang out with a dead celebrity with historical figure, who would that be and why? Toastmaster or Horse Taylor?
Repeat the question.
Michael Jackson. Oh, never mind. He's gonna touch me.
Oh, sorry. If you could hang out with a dead celebrity or historical figure, who would that be and why?
Okay. If I could hang out with a dead celebrity or a historical figure, who would it be? I think it would be Michael Jackson, and here's why. Michael Jackson was a few years older than I am. However, when I was a kid, he was a kid. I guess I can liken it to Justin Bieber today, or one of those guys, right? Because I think he's about you guys' age. But as a kid, I learned to sing and dance really well. And naturally, as a kid, I thought I was as good as Michael Jackson. So I've always said that one day I will meet Mr. Michael Jackson, and he and I will have a dance off and a sing off, and I will show him how to do it. He thinks he's good. Let me tell you, he's good, but I think I'm a little bit better. And then I will take it to the next level. As you know, before he passed away, he was on those world tours, bringing hundreds of thousands of people together just to listen to his music and to see him perform. He was no doubt remarkable, but I was or am just as remarkable. Unfortunately, I am not Michael Jackson. So that's who I think I will hang out with, Michael Jackson. And if not Michael Jackson, Justin Timberlake. He's pretty cool too. Back to you, sir.
In the US, why do you think approximately 45% of incoming freshmen do not graduate college? Ananya.
Pretty sure it chose me.
Hi, can y'all hear me today?
Yes.
You hear me? All right. So I think the question asked was, why was it 45% of US presidents don't graduate? And my answer to that is typically to become a US president, I don't know too much about the process, but what I do know is that, they tend to go like through, let's say, executive careers. And not all of them are always the same because like there's different unique ones. Like take Ronald Reagan in like I think the 70s. He was originally an actor and then he became U.S. president. But also they had to like aspire a lot to be a U.S. president. And like I said, life can take a lot of different turns. You're not exactly gonna know where you can be because he was an actor originally, but then just one day he decided he found a passion for it. He said, hey, it'd be really cool to become president, And 45%, in my opinion, isn't that big of a deal because I do understand that I guess most of them would go through like law school or whatever it was to become district attorney and then progress to the next level. But for that 45% that do, I'd like to think that they weren't exactly too sure, but eventually, they found it out and then they found out that was like, their aspirations in their career and that's what they wanted to become. So yeah, thank you.
What do you hope to gain from Toastmasters? Bunya. Bonnie?
Me? Okay, what do I hope to gain from Toastmasters? So, I'm not really the person who does a lot of public speaking, so it's kind of new to me. I mean, I have done a class, but it's very hard for me to not maybe stutter a bit or say a lot of uhs or ums. And I kind of need that because I just don't really have the skills to speak out. So I hope that will help me be able to do better stuff in speaking. That's all.
What is your favorite school subject and why?
My favorite school subject would probably be, even though I'm not taking it this year. Because the teacher was something that's really nice. I took AP art last year, and what you do is you make work, and the work is not it doesn't have a specific deadline. You just get it done over the year. So I think that this class gave us a lot of freedom on how to structure our time and get us more flexible about it. Because you have to sort of set deadlines for yourself at that point. And we created work around the theme. It could be any media that you want to use, any paper, it's just very creative and let us so that's why I really like it.
Who hasn't been called?
Pickles.
you could play a professional sport for 1 year, what would it be and why? Joshua and Josh. Josh.
Pickleball.
So the question I believe is what's professional sport I can play for a whole year? I'm not sure if I have to be like really good at it, but one sport that I would love to do is fencing, professional fencing. I'm not sure if that's a thing, but from what I know, professional fencing, you just go to a lot of nationally or international competitions. For example, a friend I know, he's really good at fencing. He made the U.S. national team, and last summer he went to China for a fencing competition. He told me he didn't do that well, but he had a lot of fun, like going to different countries, going to China. He went to like different malls and like restaurants. So I feel like traveling while doing fencing would be a great use of my time. So I won't be like procrastinating and sitting on my bed. I could conjure and meet different people while on the trips and different cultures and different fences. So I get better at that sport. And then after that 1 year, I can use what I learned and continue my career and actually make the national team. So
No. Yes.
We have one more over there.
Yeah.
If you won $100 million, what would you do? Eric Treat.
Right.
If I won 100, pardon me, I've had a stroke. If the question was if I won $100 million, what would I do? I have a charitable fund for our research. And I would donate most of the money, all the money to the child research. I suffer, have a very rare disease. And I want people to have good sight. And I have gone through blindness at one time. I don't want anyone to have to go through that ever again. As long as I can do something about it. That's retarded, that's true.
Relatable.
Tell a scary story.
Oh, Shirley. No. Scary story.
Okay, so if I was to tell a scary story, well, I don't know a really scary story, but I can tell a story that we had in Minecraft that I played with Thorn. So basically, we started the Minecraft world with me and Thorn on this little hill, and then right next to it was a witch hut, right? And so we both wanted to get the cat in the witch hut. So first we killed some spiders
in the night to get a fishing rod, and so then we fished some cod and then went to go tame the cat and kill the witch. And while we were killing the witch, we both died like 10 times because we were really bad. And then after, I named the cat Magic, and she had a light blue collar. And then this was like the 5th day because we were really bad. Right? And then we started building our house, and we built like this 2-story house with like an underground place where we put all the chests. And then we also had chests for the cats. And that was like the first 10 days of our Minecraft.
Of all incoming freshmen at universities, over half do not graduate for different reasons. Why do you think that is? What's the problem? Who hasn't been told?
Me? Okay.
Oh.
Hey, you.
Okay.
Hey, you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, what's the question again?
Over half of the incoming freshmen do not graduate college. Why?
So the question was, over half of the freshmen incoming into college don't graduate. Why? First of all, skill issue. Second of all, they always don't like pay attention in class and stuff. Or like they have like family problems, and so they had to drop off or something. I'm only in 8th grade, so I don't know.
Well,
They're laughing, I guess.
what would you do if your family cannot pay your college? Just like you said, the family cannot pay.
Yeah. I'll just be smart and then give myself a job. And
What would you do if you find a job? What kind of job would you find?
what kind of job would I do? I will find. I don't know what job. I don't know.
Okay.
So it seems like we're a little bit over time for our table topic session. I thank you, Mr. Jason Pendergrass, for hosting our table topics today. And I'd like to bring up our general evaluator, Mr. Ansel, so we could wrap up our evaluations and get down through with them again.
Now I would like to introduce my team of evaluations. So I don't know what I like this. So I'm gonna call Peter T for evaluation 1 on Eric. No. Thank you. So it's Eric had a great speech. Granted that it was an impromptu speech. When he came into the room, he was like, "Oh shoot, I forgot." So I believe that it was a pretty good showing for a non-prepared speech. And the strengths that I saw was that he was very happy to be up here. It seemed like he was kind of naturally very in a good mood, and that caused him to be a little funny. You know, he had a little some one-liners, that made the whole room laugh, whether that was through acting goofy or saying a joke. I believe that in an icebreaker, if it was another speech where it's like your body talks or something like that, I believe that would not have been the best move. But because it's an icebreaker and because you're presenting yourself as someone easy to be around, I believe that having a little bit of humility is great. You're also very engaging, which is a great thing. However, weaknesses, I saw that you stood up here and your hands were in your pocket 24/7, which probably you shouldn't do when you're talking to a group of people. I also said stop swaying so much when the whole entire time you were like, doing this, And if you're talking to someone and they keep on doing this, you kind of get distracted. And instead of hearing what they say, you see what they're doing. I also said that you should look at the audience. I don't think you would have a hard time with that. You're a very outgoing person, but when you were looking around, you were looking at the floor, you were looking out the window, stuff like that, you know, you can improve. I also said that don't go up at your sentences. Like you were talking like this. So whenever you had a sentence, you went in like this. I believe you should go down at your end of the sentence, which kind of that's how you formally speak. So when you go to the end of your sentence, don't do that. Go down. And that ends my I don't know what time because I can't see the time. But that ends my general value and my evaluation of Eric.
I would like to call as evaluator two Emily for her evaluation on Jonathan.
Thank you, Mr. Anson. So my evaluation on Jonathan. The first thing that I want to say is that I liked how you started your speech off with a controversial opinion because it drew all of us in. The second you said your opinion, everybody kind of stared at your screen and was like, what? Like we were really interested in like the argument that you had to make. And another thing that I noticed was your excellent use of grammar and structure. You used a lot of like big words. And then I like how you structured your speech and you used a lot of exact quotes from the show. So that was really nice as well. And I liked how confident you were. And that really kept our attention on you because you had like a loud voice and we could tell you knew the topic you were talking about. And I also like that you added a lot of deep ideas and concepts. And then your arguments were also very descriptive. So, like positive points, I would like to say that it was an excellent speech and you were able to successfully conjure up a defense to your interesting position. But some negative points, I would just like to say, you didn't have that many, but I did notice you tripped over your words a little bit. So at some points you would kind of hesitate or like just have to like read words and stuff. But that didn't have like it wasn't that big of an issue because it didn't affect your argument at all. And then another thing for me specifically, I haven't seen the show you're talking about, so I was a little bit lost in between there, but that just has to do with like your speech topic, this one speech topic in specific. So if you like elaborated a little bit more, it would have helped. But that's I think this, yeah.
Yeah. Now I would like to call on Joseph for the timer.
Good job, everyone. So for the prepared speeches for today, Eric, with his icebreaker, he had a time of 4 minutes and 41 seconds, which is in time. And then my brother, Jonathan, he was in time with 6 minutes and 2 seconds. In our icebreaker, Mr. Dewey, in time at 1 minute and 32 seconds. Mia, 1 minute and 7 seconds. I didn't catch the next person's name, but they had a time of 54 seconds, which is just slightly under time. Tim, you had a time of 1 minute 48 seconds. Miss John had a time of 1 minute 43 seconds. Mr. Horace Taylor, 1 minute and 36 seconds. Ananya, 1 minute and 23 seconds. Bonnie, slightly under with 42 seconds. And then the favorite subject kid, sorry, I couldn't hear you guys' names. 1 minute and 7 seconds. The fencing kid, 1 minute 17 seconds. Mr. Eric Treat, 1 minute 56 seconds. And then the scary story one, 1 minute and 12 seconds. And lastly, Owen with 1 minute and 21 seconds. And then in our evaluations, Peter in time with 2 minutes and 11 seconds. And lastly, Emily slightly under at 1 minute and 35. Thank you, everyone. Back to General Evaluator.
Now I would like to call on Owen for the preliminary.
Very good, had many uses. We had very many uses of the word of the day, and we also had some very good uses of grammar. So, starting off, Eric had 12, 2 and 11 likes. But he also used the word of the day. Then he had 3 1 like and 3 repeated words. Rowena had 2 and 1 like. Jason Pendergrass did not have any filler words, so good job. Forrest had 1 repeated word, but I think he had a very good use of vocabulary and grammar when he said lichen, when he was comparing 2 things. Jonathan had 1 2 and 1 repeated word, but he also used vocabulary very well by saying irredeemably and resonant. Deanna had no filler words, so good job. Quinn had 8 and 2 likes. And also I forgot to mention that Jason used the word today, so. Emily had 2 likes and also used the word today. Peter had 1, but he also used impromptu and humor, which I think was some very good uses of vocabulary. Anna had no filler words, so good job. Mia had 2 1 and 1 like. Joshua had 3 likes. Dewey had no filler words, so good job. And he repeated the sentence structure, it's not but, which I think was very good. Tim had 3 1 like and 1 repeated word. Ananya had 2 likes. Eric had 1 and 1 repeated word, and Bonnie had 2 likes and 1 sec. Very good. So now for the evaluation. So the meetings started a little late, 3 minutes, maybe because I'm not here, but like so that's a part on me. I need to get here more earlier. Overall, the meeting went on smoothly, just minor difficulties with the mic, but we resolved it in a timely manner. So this meeting has been
Okay, so I would like to call Mr. Dewey and also Anunia. I know Anunia is not a first timer, but this is the first time you speak here, right, in table topics. So, Mr. Dewey, would you like to give us some word? You are the leader of the district.
I'm an Area A1 director in District 43. Eric Treat told me about this meeting, and an agenda was sent to me in which I found the link to visit. I'm usually busy during this hour, but on a strange Sunday afternoon, I had a little bit of time, so I thought I'd stop in and check on you because I got an email from someone inquiring about a club for teenagers. I didn't know of one. Eric shared with me about this one, so I thought I'd stop by and check on you guys. You have a very professional meeting. Everything went well. There was a little bit of a glitch in the audio for those on Zoom. There were a few select speakers who could not be heard by me. I'm not sure what that was. Perhaps if the microphone was moved closer to those who were speaking, that might resolve that. It might have been caused by the projection of the individual voices. It was centered on only 2 or 3 different people who spoke, but that might be something you might look into and work on. Excellent presentation by everyone. Evaluators did a good job of evaluating effectively by sharing what went well and what could be done to improve. Very impressed by the presentations of everyone, and I will pass your information on to the man who is looking for someone for his teenage children to get some public speaking skills from.
Thank you. Yes, please, pass the water. We definitely would like to help as much as possible. Anunia, what do you think about the meetings?
Hi again. So I've only done Toastmasters like 1 time before this, but we did it for a couple of times, so I guess you could say I have some experience. Overall, I did join late, but overall, from what I did see, the meeting went pretty smoothly. You know, Toastmasters did their job of just kind of introducing, giving some background information about each speaker, and then just keeping it smoothly transitioning. Table topics, it was great. I really enjoyed the questions, pretty unique questions. And I'm also glad that, you know, everyone had a chance to once again present and answer a question. Overall, I think that, like as Mr. Dewey said, it was y'all did a really good job presenting, and also evaluators, timers, and grammarians, they were on time and they did, you know, their job. They gave pointers, they gave what was good, what was bad about each speech, and then they gave the necessary information that was supposed to be provided. So yeah, pretty good meeting.
Well, thank you. We do try to give everybody a speaking opportunity because that's what we're here for. Try to improve through speaking. So thank you very much. I would like to pass the next meeting. The next week we will not have meeting because we're on fall break.
Oh, yeah.
But we will have a meeting in the following Sunday. Okay, following Sunday. And we can line up our meeting roles. So Benny, Anunia, if you want to take on grammarian role or timer role, you're very welcome to do so. Xavier, you want to do that?
I'll take grammarian. Yes.
Oh, you want to do
I'm
grammarian?
signing up online.
And or Alunia, and Benny, do you want to sign up online or you want to just assign yourself now?
I have seen the spreadsheet, but I don't know if I'm gonna take a role yet. Maybe just get used to the class, then maybe start.
Okay, yeah, that works. Alunia, how about you?